Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've not met me before, I'm Katie, and if you're a returning subscriber, it's great to have you here. Today's video, I have just come back from seeing the Marvels at the cinema in its second weekend of being available, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you. So if you either don't want any spoilers, then leave this until you've seen it. I'm going to be a bit vague about them, so hopefully if you are kind of curious and want to know a bit more but don't want it too spoiled, then you'll be okay. But I'm leaving that up to you, your judgment. Let's get started. Firstly, I just want to show you this little wish cup that I got from the cinema. We went to see this at Cineworld. I had to check because there's about 4 cinemas near where I live and they're all different brands. But Cineworld, they are doing these wish cups which you can buy. It's a bit bonkers though. They're £7 without a drink. If you want the drink, like an iced slushy thing, you have to pay £6 on top. So I went with this and a bottle of water because that's ridiculous. Give a free icy for God's sake. But anyway, I got the little goat. There was a choice of the star, the main character whose name I did hear in the advert and I've forgotten, and the goat whose name apparently is Valentino. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when it comes out. He reminds me a bit of Esmeralda's goat. How cute is that? But anyway, just wanted to show you that really. So let's talk about the film then. Okay, so I'll try and do this in some kind of chronological order. I had seen a review on YouTube before I went to see the film, and it said that the main villain is kind of a bit of a nothing villain really, and I would agree with that actually. I think that it was kind of similar to the witch in Suicide Squad, the original one, where she's kind of there, she hangs, the story hangs off of her, but they could have done more with the character. So I mean I can't even really remember what her name is. I think Denban something. So that's how much of a kind of nothingy character she is, and I would have liked to see them do more. I wasn't sure when I first went to see it. I was like, oh, I just want this to be like a pure Brie Larson Captain Marvel film, because obviously I'm a fan of Captain Marvel and I do like Monica Rambeau, and I had only seen one episode of the Miss Marvel series, which I did like. I really liked the way they integrated the animation and her doing all her comics and things into the series, but I am inspired to watch the rest of the series having seen this film. I will say Kamala's character is what brings the energy to the film. She's a lot of fun, I think, and she I think some people might find her too much, but for me, I'm quite a, as you probably can tell by now, quite a kind of energetic kind of person myself, so I appreciate her energy that she brings. I'm just going to say, I'm going to be totally girly about this, but Brie Larson's hair is so pretty in this film. I mean, I loved both versions of her hair previously, the longer and the short, but she's got this amazing little plait here, which I'm going to have to try and learn to do because it looks so stunning. Anyway, back to the plot. So I felt that there wasn't a huge amount of build-up before you start getting into the action. So one of the main plot points is that the 3 characters are brought together because their powers are intertwined, and the reason their powers are intertwined is because the main villain starts opening like jump points through time and space, and but it's not really explained massively, and then all of a sudden they're just switching places and you're not entirely sure why, and you think you've got a clue why, but that's why. To pause to let this one in. So on the cat side, this is very timely. So oh my goodness, in this film I love Goose being available. It feels like one of the two main plot points, I would say, in this film. One is about Goose and Goose's story, and Goose has kittens. Oh my god. So that was right up my street. I also really love and appreciate that Captain Marvel is flying around the universe with Goose on her shoulder. A good Flerken Kitty. And the other main plot point seems to be bringing these three women together, and how they kind of become a bit of a family unit. And a reconciliation between Monica and Captain Marvel, which, you know, we didn't necessarily know was needed, but it makes sense given that at the end of the original Captain Marvel film, she says, oh, you know, I'll see you later, Lieutenant Trouble, I'll be right back, kind of thing, and she's not. So it kind of reconciles that. There's a nice moment between Kamala and her mum in terms of a kind of letting her go and letting her be her own person, letting her be a teenager and trusting her, which I think is nice as well. There's a lot going on visually in the movie, and the effects I think were pretty good actually. I really enjoyed like Kamala's powers and how those are designed. I think they're really lovely. Yeah, so I think that overall, I definitely really enjoyed this film. There's some major range in the tone. So there are moments where they're quite poignant, but it's for me, I don't think they were fully rounded moments. I would have liked. I think it's possibly because the other end of the scale, the tone is so like out there and slightly bizarre at moments. You have to just go with it. Just go with it and you'll enjoy it. But if not, I mean, I must admit, I was sat there when it first started like, what is going on right now? And if you go and watch it, you will probably know the bit I mean. Like I say, I'm trying not to be too like, this happens and this is the total full plot. But yeah, it's definitely a bit of an out there moment. And I'm going to say a bit of a Beauty and the Beast flashback, but quite different. Hopefully, again, if you've seen it or you do go and see it, you'll know which bit I'm talking about that just evokes Beauty and the Beast dancing moment. Yeah, what else did I want to tell you? Oh my god, I know. The cross. Okay, stay to the end. As you know, with Marvel films, there's always that after the credits roll scene. And I'm excited about what happens there. Crossover moment, and it's good. I like where it's going. I also like who turns up right at the end before the credits roll. Excited for that. It looks like they might actually be finally about to do something with the Young Avengers. So I'm interested in that. I think those were the main things I kind of picked up on and wanted to share. So I think I'm glad I went to see it. It was better than I thought it might be. And I know I've always liked Captain Marvel. I don't really understand why a lot of people don't like her. I think she can come across as being quite a very assertive character and maybe a bit more tomboyish. But for me, I don't think she's cold. I think she's reserved, and the people she loves, she really loves. And maybe I can relate to that because I can come across as, believe it or not, I can come across as quite with the, like just kind of in myself, like quite insular to start with when people meet me sometimes, and I'm not at all like that. Once I get to know people, I really warm up. So I found Brie Larson's character very relatable. Oh, okay, one more thing. Sorry, I knew this was going to happen because there were so many thoughts I had, so I'm trying to make sense of them as I'm speaking them out loud. So there's a hint of something that fans were talking about with Captain Marvel and Valkyrie, and it's a little confused because then it's hinted at. It's hinted at. Something between them is hinted at. But then this other thing happens, which ties in with this out there moment that I'm talking about. So again, this will all fall into place if you see it. But I think what I would say is, if you vaguely like Brie Larson and Captain Marvel, it's worth a watch. It's not as good as the first one. I loved the first one. I thought it was great. It's not as good as that. It's definitely not the worst Marvel film I have seen. It definitely has some really nice moments and some nice humour. There's a lovely moment where they're switching. They're like a montage where they're switching up their powers. There's some good music in it again. Not as good a soundtrack as the first one, but it's not some not bad stuff. And yeah, I just enjoyed it. It was fun, and I don't go to the cinema very often, so there was that was in its favour as well. Effects were good, and yeah, I enjoyed seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing it a second time, because I think then where I felt originally at the start that some of those moments were a bit too fast, like they happened a bit too soon. I needed a bit more build up. Obviously now I've got the whole context of the whole story, so I feel like that wouldn't be such an issue seeing it again. So definitely looking forward to seeing it a second time at some point, probably when it comes onto the streaming services. But yeah, it's that's my review. I have no idea whether this will make any sense to anyone unless you've seen it or not. And if you've seen it, you might have an idea what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if it helps you to know whether you want to see it or not. But let's go with it. Let's go see it, go enjoy, let me know what you think. And yeah, until next time, thanks for joining me. Take care, and bye for now.